Good morning and welcome to the Delco Show. I'm Fiore, Executive Director of Delaware County's Brandywine Conference and Visitors Bureau, and you are listening to the Delco Show, which is brought to you by the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce, right here on iRadio Philly. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a wonderful guest with us this morning. He's been around for quite a while with the delightful and the always interesting Hedgerow Theatre. I'd like to introduce you to Jared Reed, who's the Artistic Director for the Hedgerow Theatre. Jared, good morning and welcome to the Delco Show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
No, this ought to be a lot of fun because, again, I don't want to disparage you at all. Okay?
Please do. That's what actors do.
But I was expecting the always delightful Penelope Reed, fondly known as Penny.
Yep.
Who's always a treat, and we'll do a half-hour program in 4 or 5 different accents.
Very good, very good. I'll do my best to recreate.
Well, it sounds like you have a little bit of an accent.
It cost me a lot of money to have this accent.
Okay,
actually. Yeah.
That's a theater accent.
Yeah, it's a theater accent.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's from the
someone taught me how to do this.
Yeah, that's from down here,
that's right,
where you're,
right.
all
Absolutely.
that sort of stuff and everything. You also, I noticed, Jared, have what I would refer to as a theater haircut.
I do.
What the hell? Folks, you can't see it here, but what the hell is that?
See, the way it works is that I only get my hair cut or dress well if someone does it for me, because I don't want to, otherwise I might have to be in a show and I have to have long hair. I have to look like, as you're looking right now, I'm sorry to say, or what have you.
You mean Natalie attire?
Natalie
and
attire,
dapper,
yeah,
and
dapper. That's me. That's me. Yeah,
yes.
Spats aren't usual, but I like to wear them. I wear them well.
Okay.
And along with my Dr. Seuss hat here.
Yeah, but that doesn't make you a bad person.
No,
okay?
no, I don't think so.
No. You have that. It has a certain je ne sais quoi to it, a panache to it that makes it interesting, to say the least. Indeed, I tried to do that one time to get that kind of uncombed, like just like bedhead look.
Sure.
And somebody said that I looked like a pimp.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I didn't know we were going there, but all right.
I think it was a combination of the hair and the name, Fiore. So. Anyway, Jared, let's get serious for a fleeting second here. Hedgerow Theatre.
Yep.
Has been around since Brooklyn was a prairie. I mean,
1923.
Yeah, and I was trying to remember the gentleman's name who founded it.
Jasper Dieter.
Jasper Dieter, that's right. And it's like, God bless your mother, she never ages.
No.
It seems like she's been around that long.
She did a deal very early on with the man downstairs, and so she's actually not aged at all. She's actually younger than I am.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely
true.
God bless her. It's absolutely amazing. She's a vibrant redhead.
Yes, she is.
Without a doubt. So, anyway, Hedgerow Theatre. You seemed, and correct me, I know enough about theater to get me in trouble. I took.
So do I.
Yeah, I did some in high school.
Sure.
I took a couple of courses in college. I played the boy Matt in the Fantastics.
An excellent part. Fantastic.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Couldn't sing worth a lick, but I played the boy Matt. And I also played multiple characters in Our Town.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so
it
was an interesting experience for me. And then I forget what I did over at Widener University. I want to say it might have been, was there a play called The Detectives or something like
Probably.
that? I don't know, but it was a long, this is a long time ago, Jared.
Well, it's not that long if you were in the Fantastics. I mean, that's not that long.
Well, the Fantastics have been running since 1923.
Well, there's always that, of course.
I went to see there's Sullivan Street Theater, the off-Broadway. What a wonderful, it's one of those few shows that you play to the audience and with the audience, it was fantastic. So you see my knowledge of theater. But having said that, I live 3 minutes from Hedgerow Theatre.
Okay.
And I drive past there, oh gosh, if not every day, at least every other day.
Okay.
And I always see the sign out there that tells me what's playing. And sometimes I get the feeling when I see some of the names of these particular shows that I get the feeling sometimes it's like they're very off-the-wall type theater, and it's almost like some of it to me seems like Bertolt Brecht, the theater of the absurd. Okay,
you think so? That's crazy. I mean, I think I like to think that we have a mix, a traditional and modern mix. I mean, the last show, you're absolutely right, which was called On the Verge, was that kind of thing. Was a really off the wall comedy, definitely a modern comedy. But then we do Christmas Carol every year.
Oh, yeah, no.
We did Hamlet. We do a lot of.
I know you do the standards.
Yeah.
I get the standards, but there's really some. I mean, when I saw On the Verge, I'm saying to myself, on the verge of what? Of what? So now I got to come see the show to find out what that is.
Well, thank goodness.
Yeah,
someone said
with that out. But in essence, you do not do musicals.
Not often. We will do, if we ever do a musical, it will be, we might do, let's say, The Fantastics would be an excellent, actually, example.
Mm-hmm.
So one that's not, it's about character-driven musicals, or it's about small, because, Hedgerow's only 120 seats.
Yes.
So it's got to fit into our space.
Yes.
And so we'll do things that are much more intimate, much smaller in that regard, if we're going to do a musical. But we generally try, what we have is a resident company. And
right.
So we're fitting what we do to that company.
Right.
So we have a certain pool of actors and directors and designers that we feel that we've made a commitment to, and we go, okay, we want to do a show with these artists. What would be good for them? Oh, this would be good for them. It might be The Fantastics. It might be On the Verge. It will always be Christmas Carol. Next year, in the fall, we're going to do Dracula.
Oh.
We're going to be doing Don Quixote in May and June. So there's all sorts of people that we're going, okay, this group of exceptional minds put together with this project, we think this is going to be neat.
Okay.
And that's what we do.
So now you have what I referred to as in residence. You have 6 of them. Mm-hmm. So your total staff
is 13. That's not with a cast of a show. So that's just those of us working there every day.
Right. So the residents who are also artists.
Well, they will sometimes be in the show. Sometimes they're not necessarily.
Right. They're doing costuming.
They're doing marketing
scenery
work. They're building the sets. They're selling the tickets.
Right.
So we do all of that sort of stuff along with rehearsing the next show.
What gets you to be an in-resident?
Apply, audition for us, be fantastic, and you can be a resident.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
So there's not like a lot of big qualifiers. You just got to kind of wow you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the biggest qualifier, but yes.
Okay.
I mean, what we're looking for are people who can do this sort of eclectic mix that we do.
Sure.
We do traditional, we do modern, we do funny.
They have range.
They have range.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. And people who want to do that. And people who want to, those who live at the house. So we have the Hedgerow house, the farmhouse.
And the house, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, is right up the road from Hedgerow Theatre.
Yep.
Hedgerow Theatre is located on Rose Valley Road. What's the actual address?
64 Rose Valley Road.
64 Rose Valley Road. And that is that still Moylan or is it Wallingford?
Well, here you go. I mean, this is an argument you're going to have with the post office, but technically it is Rose Valley. That sort of.
Sorry, I forgot Rose Valley.
No, but you're right, because Moylan is just about half a stone's throw away.
Yeah.
And so Rose Valley is this sort of strangely shaped thing in there. But the theater is in one zip code, and the Hedgerow house is in another zip code, but they're both in Rose Valley.
Okay.
Aha.
Now, and again, I know from whence you speak, because of the fact that where we live, which is right across and up Ridley Creek Road from the Moylan train station. So we are a half a block from Moylan, but we're in Upper Providence.
Right.
So my wife actually thought, well, Moylan sounds so much better. So she uses Moylan.
Sure, why not?
Which I find just absolutely delightful, Well, she's originally from Chester, I get it. Okay. Yes, and then Wallingford. But it's all that Rose Valley, Moylan, Upper Providence, Nether Providence.
Yeah.
They all like converge into one gigantic mess in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at the bottom of that valley, of that mess, is Hedgerow Theatre. There we are.
So Hedgerow Theatre is the top of the heap.
Or the bottom of the...
Yeah. So right now you're doing On the Verge.
Right. We just finished On the Verge. Right now we're doing a really cool mystery thriller called A Murder Has Been Arranged, There's a ghost.
Oh, it's about the mafia.
No. That would be a murder has been misarranged. So that would be
like the gang that couldn't shoot straight.
Exactly. But no, this is a murder's been arranged. It's 1930s murder mystery with a ghost and things like that. Very cool. And then we have a musical review coming up called Forget Your Troubles in rep with a really cool play called Underneath the Lintel. Which is a one-man show being performed by a Broadway actor named Chris Kousel. And then we have our Don Quixote. And then every Saturday morning at 11, we have our Storytime series, which is for the little kids.
For the children, right?
Yep. So we have Snow White right now. We'll have Wizard of Oz coming up. And then we have our theater school and all the stuff they do. So they have performance classes. Right now they're getting ready The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and the Snow Queen. And then they're going to be doing The Music Man and Charlotte's Web.
Okay, so yeah. Let me stop you for a second there. Just let me remind you, ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking with Jared Reed, who is the artistic director for the Hedgerow Theatre. For more information about Hedgerow, whether it's tickets, the shows that are coming, or, how to get involved as a resident and as an artist there, it's Hedgerow, Hedge Row, ROW Theatre. That's R-E, so it's theater.org or 610-565-4211. Now, I'm going to get back to what you were talking about, a musical and everything. Yep. So you're doing a few different things like that. But is everybody, because of the size of the theater, is this all a cappella or is it a small ensemble?
We'll have it, I think for that.
I'm trying to remember, is there an orchestra pit?
There is not an orchestra
pit.
Right,
I didn't think so.
When we do anything music-wise, it'll be relatively small in that sense because it's a big for anyone who hasn't been, it's a big stone grist mill.
Right,
is what it was.
Yeah.
So sound travels amazingly in there. But if you put something large in there, sound travels amazingly in there. You can't do
sound
something.
Sound travels too amazingly.
Right, exactly. Yes. It would blow you out. So we have to be really careful about what we put in there.
It's like being in a nightclub with 21-year-olds. Where it's that head banging, boom.
Right. Our aim is not to hurt your ears. No.
Okay, fine. So you have a whole variety.
We have a whole variety of stuff.
It runs the gamut. It's very eclectic shows that are coming up and everything. Now, I call you guys a theater company.
Yep.
Now, why is that? What's an ensemble?
Okay, so theater. So within theater, as a general thing, you'll have theater companies that they're a company and they hire and they cast a show and they cast it from whoever they think is great for the part and they put on the show and they don't necessarily use the same actors time and again. So that would just be a company like anything's a company. They hire the people that they think are best for the show and that's that. How we use the term company and ensemble is that, as I was saying before, we say, okay, these are the people that I have, and I really want to do work with them. And so that's what we mean by company. And so we keep that tight as to who we want to see on our stages a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
But ensemble then?
Ensemble is the same thing. It's just a French way of saying it, which is why we have the R-E at the end.
Okay, because again, I look at that, and again, the only way my head makes that work is when you look at something like Second City.
Sure, I think that's the same thing. Yeah. That's how we mean
it. That's a group of people that stick together and they work the skits and the comedy routines around who they have available.
Absolutely, yeah. That's how we look at it too.
Okay.
I mean, we have my dad, Zoran Kovcic. He's been on stage there for 20-some years. Susan Weffel's been on there 30-some years.
Wow.
My mother, Penelope Reed, she was there as a teenager when she was 17. So we have people there who've been there. My grandmother has been there since 1956.
Now you have children, correct?
I have two.
How old are they?
They are 8 and 5.
And do you get them involved?
I try not to.
with good reason, correct?
Yes, they're going to have to earn it if they want to do it.
Yeah. So, all right, Jared, we're going to take a short break here. We've done the first half of the program, the Delco Show, and then we're going to come back because I want to talk about how you got into this crazy business.
Sure.
Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Delco Show, brought to you by the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce, right here on iRadio Philly. I just want to mention, and I'll mention it again and again, we are in new digs as we speak. We're trying out a facility called the Headroom, which is on 24 Veterans Square in Media. They are suites that can be rented out hourly, weekly, monthly, yearly. It's a whole bunch of things. So, we'll give you some more information about Hedgerow when we come back. This is Tori Fiore, and you are listening to The Delco Show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Delco Show. This is Tori Fiore, and you're listening to The Delco Show right here on the wonderful Radio Philly. The Delco Show is brought to you by the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce. And we would be remiss if we didn't thank our wonderful lunch sponsors every week as we move forward. Primo Hoagies on Baltimore Pike in Media, kind of right across catty corner from the post office. So it's kind of around Monroe and a couple of other streets, but right on Baltimore Pike. We have 3 hoagies they always bring to us, and it's always a surprise. I tried to look and see what they were, but the writing was really squiggly, and I couldn't figure it out. So we're going to have what I'm going to refer to, Stephen E. Kessler in a second, as our Primo Surprise Hoagies, and see where that gets us. So Primos, thank you very much as usual. You always do a great job, and I love it because I eat half that hoagie because it's so big, and then we split the second one, and then the third one goes to Stephen E. Kessler, and then I bring it home. I got dinner tonight. I don't have to worry about a thing. It's a beautiful thing. Now, as I was mentioning, I want to talk about Hedgerow for a second. Hedgerow is a suite of rooms, if you will, conference rooms, office space, private consultation rooms, all different stuff that you can rent by the day, by the week, by the hour, by the quarter hour. Their rates are very reasonable. And hold on a second. Stephen E. Kessler, I'm going to do something here. Hey, Katie, come here a second. Come on, hurry up. You've done this before. Katie is the wonderful receptionist, and she has been with Hedgerow from the beginning. And Katie's comfortable with this because she's used to a microphone because she used to be a weather lady. So, Katie, welcome to the Delco Show, the first show here at Hedgerow.
We are so happy to have you here. Yeah, this is fantastic.
Well, I want to tell you this much right now. We don't even have to put lights on in this room because when you walk in, you brighten it up immensely.
Well, thank you. So, I appreciate that.
Folks, did you say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so that's Katie, folks. All right, Katie, you can go away now.
Okay, back to work.
Thank you very much. Katie's a good sport. Stephen, I couldn't resist doing that. Jared, I'm sorry I'm taking that time up, but
no,
this is what we do here,
yes.
Okay? Anyway, let's get back to the Hedgerow Theatre. We're talking about a variety of different things. Your parents were in this business.
Yep.
Are in this business. I take it back.
My family has been in this business. I'm the 5th generation theater person in my family.
Right.
And hopefully my children don't, but they might be the 6th. So, if they've been cursed as well, there you go.
So, did that lend itself towards getting you into it?
Oh, definitely. My first professional show I was in when I was 4. I was the Angel Gabriel.
Oh, I thought maybe they just had you drool or something.
Yeah, they did. Well, the next show I was in, this is an awful story, was a
this is an awful show, so go ahead.
Yeah, they're very good. So for her sins, my mother had to direct at the local school the sort of nativity play that they did that Christmas, and she didn't want to give me a big part because I'm her son. So she said, "Okay, you get to play the donkey." And so and evidently I grumbled a bit at having to play the donkey. And so the time came, and I came out, and there's Mary and Joseph riding me as the 5-year-old or whatever I was, and I had one line, and it was to bray like a donkey, hee-haw, which the entire audience laughed at. So evidently, I did my hee-haw. I looked out at the audience as they're laughing at me, and I decided it must be great, so I gave them 3 or 4 more so that they could laugh some more, because obviously it's a story about a donkey. So I've been an ass from a very, very young age.
So Jared, this lends itself to so many different scenarios.
It does. I was trying to get them all in before you could get there.
Well, I got a few more that I'm just going to throw out there. that you may like or not like. So when your mother didn't want to give you a big part,
I think she knew. Yeah, well, she was a smart lady. Yes.
Yeah, my point being is this, because the first thing I looked at was your hair. Yeah. That doesn't have a big part in it either.
No, it doesn't. It's just a mess.
It's just a mass of stuff there.
It's a mess, yeah.
And then secondarily, I mean, you've grown.
I've yes.
Okay, from a donkey, haven't you?
Yeah, I've grown from a donkey.
So would you now be considered you've grown? Now you're a horse's ass?
I would think so. I think that would be moving backwards. I mean,
a horse is bigger than a donkey.
Well, yes, that's a good point. I see what you mean. But I started off at the head there, so I don't know why I moved backwards. It's a very it's hard. So, if we're talking to my wife, she would agree with you. But there you go. It's a very.
They can keep on coming, and I just can't do it anymore.
I know.
I can't do it.
I feed you like this. You should thank me for these jokes.
Yeah, no. I mean, you're gonna. If we ever get a TV show, you're gonna be my sidekick. Now, let's get back to this, though.
Okay.
We were talking about you have 13 people that are on staff and or resident there and everything. And one of your folks who handles group sales, development, and everything is Artie Hunter.
Yep.
And again, I don't know if you know this or not. You may or may not. And but I known Artie Hunter, I believe, since 4th grade at Holy Spirit School in little old Sharon Hill, Delaware County, PA.
Wow.
So Artie and I go way, way back. Artie had a twin brother, James.
Okay.
And they both were excellent athletes.
Okay.
So, they both excelled in basketball, and they both excelled in baseball. And they were just two real good guys, and they were just great. I mean, it was nice growing up, with them hanging around, because they were a real treat, and they were damn good in sports. So it was always nice to have them on your side, between Little League Baseball and the Athletic Association and the Holy Spirit parochial basketball team. I mean, on and on and on. And it was just, so I've known Artie for quite a while. We don't talk as much these days, but when you see him again, tell him I said howdy.
I certainly will.
And I gave him a plug on the Delco show.
I certainly will.
You're based in Rose Valley. You have a geographical area that you cover of people that are going to purchase tickets, and some of them are your yearly members. I mean, they're members that are going to everything that's there, and they're paying whatever the case may be. But I mean, how far is your reach? How many people do you actually serve, and how far does that area go out sometimes?
It's a great question. It's hard to answer in some ways, because if you look at where people are that have bought tickets, we get everywhere from beyond New York City, down to Washington, D.C.
Yeah. I didn't think they were coming.
No,
from
they were coming from
Washington.
Yeah.
Okay.
You never know. But we get that sort of distance will actually get people from. Well, we've been. Since 1923, we've been around, and we are, in that sense, we are a part of theater history.
Sure.
Because we've done, there's been a lot, we were always the first the American premieres of all George Bernard Shaw plays, of all these sort of things, and we've always had this resident company, and we're the longest serving repertory resident theater in America. So, For certain things, you can't go anywhere else except for us. So we get that sort of range of people wanting to come see, okay, well, how does a resident repertory work now? And all that sort of stuff. Right now, though, on a given year, we have about 25,000 people who will come through our doors. However many out, then we have all of our outreach educational offerings that are out.
Yeah, the children,
all that sort of stuff, where... That's, we're taking a show, we're doing a workshop, so that's many more thousands that we're serving.
Well, you'll pop over to the Rose Tree Summer
so
Festival.
We'll do that, right.
I have used a little entourage, if you will, of your group for various events that I do. I know we just did with Penny the 225th celebration of the founding of Delaware County, and they did a little nice rendition of how that all went and whatnot between the drunkards and the cannon and everything, which was really very interesting.
Even though nothing's changed, yes.
Nothing has changed, except now the bars have no smoking.
That's right.
So you look at theater today, and more specifically your theater, that type of theater. And this day and age with all the technology and everything and, Twitter and social media and Pinterest and Tinder. I don't even know what the hell Tinder is, and I don't want to know what Tinder is. But it seems like everybody is going into that, just into a cocoon. And they're not seeing what else is out there. I know in high school, my fondest experiences were I played sports and everything, but being in those shows, I think the one I can remember is we did Kiss Me Kate, okay? And I played Snake Eyes.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, I was Snake Eyes. I was a bad guy. And that was when you had to bring your own costumes in, you know? But isn't that why theater is important today? It's a connector.
It's the connector. It's a public event in which all the parties have some kind of stake in it. The actors are up there. They're not doing it alone. It's not a movie where something's being filmed and then you view it later whenever you want.
Sure.
This whole thing happens live. So if you have it, and then we often talk about that as actors up there. What was the audience like tonight? It's a thing we're always talking about. Were they with you? Were they interested? And so there's this communal thing that has always existed for the history of recorded theater, which is 3,000 years.
Yeah. So you're looking for that connection.
You're looking for that connection, and that's the entire point of it. Yeah. And without it, there is no point. And without it, you get the ability to, you can wander. I can pause it. I can make it stop. Which you can't do with theater. Once that train starts, it's going.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah. Well, and again, having said that, we talked before the show about different things, and I mentioned to you that I was in the Fantastics in college, and that was an interactive show.
Yep.
Using the audience as almost like props, if you will.
Right.
Okay. Do you do any of that stuff at Hedgerow?
We'll do it much like the Fantastics if the play calls for it. Certainly the kids shows that we do in trying to get the children involved, that'll always have a large part of that. Certain shows will. So a lot of times the mysteries we do will have a vote for who you think did it and stuff like that. That sort of stuff. Yeah. It's going to be whatever's going to fit the production. Whatever's. We wouldn't do it in Hamlet.
Right.
We wouldn't do it. It doesn't lend itself.
Hamlet doesn't work in that.
No. But we would definitely do it in certain mysteries and farces and things like that, where that part of it, and you really have to have that in certainly the comedies and things like that. Where I know my dad, when he does all the farces in the summer, there are many times when he's there, he's in chaos. It's a farce. Yeah. He's in chaos, and he's going, oh, my God, what should I do? And very often people in the audience will say, don't go through the door. But, of course, he has to go through the door because that's what the play calls for, so he has to do a little ad-lib there, like, I think you're wrong. I'm going to go through the door. Yeah. And so, there's all that.
Don't hide behind the chainsaws.
Don't hide behind the, he's in the attic. It's a very... It's a live form.
It's frenzy.
It's frenzy. And then I think and all theater is a frenzy.
Yeah.
Even that sort of calm, collected, cool stuff. It's all chaos that you're watching that happens to not end in anyone's death.
Live.
Yeah, that's right. It's live.
Yeah. We talked about the shows coming up and everything. I know. It was about a year and a half ago. It's a beautiful new foyer.
Yeah, the atrium,
Atrium, entranceway and everything, which is absolutely beautiful. Anything else coming up in the future of a major importance or anything?
Well, I think how we think about it is that it's the next push for us is really going to be making the theater school as awesome as it can be. So for us, it's going to be the second, the Up the Hill property. Really becoming that kind of educational oasis for kids, for creative stuff. Because that's how we always think of theater for kids. It's not really to make, as you well know, it's not to make an actor later on. It's to expand a mind.
Yes.
It's not for, it's to, and all the studies have said it. It's, that doing this kind of arts helps expand the mind everywhere else. And that's why we do it.
And that's what, when they talk about, and I understand the concept, when they talk about in the high schools and everything, doing away with the arts, doing away with music and theater and everything, you look at it and you go, that's the backbone
right.
of you can learn math. But that is the backbone. That's
how do you apply
creativity.
it? That needs a creative mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's just wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Jared Reed, who is the artistic director for the Hedgerow Theatre, Hedgerow, Hedgerow, Theatre, re.org, 610-565-4211. You can check them out for residency possibilities. The Hedgerow Main Stage, the Children's Theater, Hedgerow Theater School. You can get tickets there. You can make donations there. Jared, it's been wonderful chatting with you here on the Delco Show.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's my pleasure. Tell your mom I said hello. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tori Fiore. You have been listening to the Delco Show right here on iRadio Philly.